Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hopefully, you're having a good day so far. It is Tuesday, right? Is it Tuesday? Wednesday? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Uh, so, hopefully, you guys are having a good day so far. For those that don't know, it's been a while since I've been on this channel, but this is the Money Talk with Billy Zerillo. I'm Billy Zerillo, and I'm a financial advisor, and I help people answer really tough financial questions. And that's really one of the main topics that we're going to be talking about today is the 4 financial questions that you should know the answers to. But before we get into all that, please make sure you comment who you are, where you're coming in from. I'd love to, get your reaction to whatever I'm saying. And if you have any questions, right, love to answer those too. This is a spinoff show of the Millennial, so make sure that you're tuned into that because we're live every basically every Friday, right? So I'm gonna just just making sure that my audio is working well. Like I said, haven't done this in a while, and don't have my headphones in, and so I'm just coming to you live really quickly. But like I said, wanted to talk about this very important topic today because for the simple fact that most of us that are trying to do better financially don't necessarily wake up in the morning saying to yourself that you need a financial plan, right? I need a 60-page financial plan. And no one wakes up and saying that to themselves, right? They often wake up and you're like, how am I going to pay off debt? How am I going to save more money for my kids' education? How am I going to, put money aside for retirement? How am I going to save money for a down payment on a home? Should I rent? Should I buy? Blah, 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 right? We have all these financial questions that necessarily that we can't get the answer to in a very quick way, right? Most of the time, in traditional sense, it takes gathering a lot of data, and it takes a week of planning and picking apart different pieces to understand your financial situation to give you an answer. And really, in the world that we live in the fast-paced world that we live in, we need those answers more quickly, right? If that's the right way to say that. But anyways, so that's where these 4 questions come into play. And I use a program that helps me monitor and assess, diagnose exactly what's going on in somebody's financial life, looking at key financial vital signs, right? I believe there's about 9 of them that I take a look at. And those vital signs are really important because it's going to help me answer these 4 questions. And why are there just 4 questions, right? Well, by answering these 4 questions, I can help answer all your financial questions because from my perspective, there's really 4 areas that we need to solve for. And once we solve for those areas and understand what we need to do, answering all the other questions just get filtered through those questions. And if we have those answered properly, we're going to be able to give you the proper answer to answer your tough financial question, right? And so let's get right into it. So we've talked about the 4 financial questions and why they're important. And I'm going to get into here in a second what each question is. But understand that all your problems come down to questions. And so first things first, we'll talk about these 4 questions. And I actually have a 4-part series that I've created. It's a webinar series that goes into these questions more in depthly. And helps you understand these questions and why they're important, but then also give you the opportunity to have those questions answered for you. So the first question that I always take a look at is that we can help ask or help get answered is, are we using our income wisely? So when I sit down with most people have no idea where their money is going. They have no idea where they're spending it. They have no idea how much money is going towards debt, how much they're spending, how much they're saving, how much is going to taxes, right? All those different areas. And your income is the number one asset that you have in your life to build wealth, right? Your income helps you build other assets. Other assets help you make money down the road, whether that's real estate, whether that's retirement accounts, whether that's, whatever asset that you're buying that's going to produce value for you down the road, your income is good at how you're going to do it. So by saving your income, by using your income wisely, you're going to be able to do those things. And so we look at vital signs in this realm of, are you using your income wisely? Like how much of your debt is going, or how much of your money is going to your debt? How much money are you burning through, right? That is unrelated to debt, just all your other ancillary spending. Maybe how much of your money are you actually saving, right? Is it high? Is it low? Is it right on point? And how much of your money is going towards taxes? So we look at all those 4 measurements, and that helps us understand how to actually measure your income. Because if we're not tracking it, we're not measuring it, it's just going to go wherever it wants to. And if you just let your money go wherever it wants to, it's usually not the place that you want it to go. The next question that we talk about is, are we taking on too much risk? Right. So the first question is going to help us answer a lot of those questions about where your income is going, because that's important to know, because we said the number one tool that you have to building wealth right now, especially if you don't have any assets, is your income. And this also helps alleviate a lot of that stress of where your money's going. The next phase is, are you taking on too much risk? So are you taking on too much risk in your portfolios, right? For your goals, for your stated goals, or for your age, or for your just your journey in your financial life? Are you taking on the right amount of risk? And by measuring that, we can say, yes, you are. No, you're not, right? We need to adjust accordingly to hit your stated goals, because these are your goals. This is your risk tolerance. Do they meet up, right? The second place that we measure in, are we taking too much risk, is simply this. It is the measure of insurance. So do you have life insurance? Do you have the right amount of car insurance and homeowners insurance? Do you have disability, right? What are your insurance needs? And traditionally, we couldn't measure that, right? We didn't know if you were underinsured, overinsured, right? Especially from a macro level. Like, yes, you could tell if you're underinsured and overinsured in certain areas, but to look at as your insurance as a whole measure, as a number, we couldn't do that. So we can be able to look at where you currently stand, insurance wise, and be able to look at that number and say, where's our blind spot, right? No one likes to talk about insurance. It's not the funnest or sexiest topic to talk about, but when you need it, you want it there, right? And so, are we taking on too much risk? Is one of the other questions. And once you can answer that, then you can move on to something else, right? Hey, we're protected, right? We're taking on the right amount of risk. The next question, and I'm going to pop this up here. Give me 1 second. All right. Forgot to add this banner, so we're going to add it right now. So the next one is, do you have the right mix of assets, right? And so we talked about income, how that's the number one tool that you're going to use to create assets for you. But once you've created those assets, do you have the right mix of those based on your goals, based on what you need to accomplish, right? And I'm going to get into why the mix of assets is important here in the next and final question. So it's ideal that these two questions go after each other. So really, when we look at people's assets, we in my realm, and looking at specific vital signs for this to answer this question, we can break down your assets to a couple different areas. If you own a business, you probably have some business assets, right? You have some business value in your business, right? So it's an asset. It's worth something. So an asset's and something that you own that's worth things. So in business, we have real estate. So that might be personal real estate. That might be rental properties that you have. That might be land that you own. Anything like that, right? Real estate. And then you have your qualified assets. So that's retirement accounts. That's your 401k, your Roth IRA, your not your Roth IRA, your retirement accounts. Okay. You have, 403b, whatever it might be, but those are the assets that are earmarked for for that book, right? So the qualified box, if you will. So those are all the assets that you have, and they equal what is your net worth. And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a second. But you have your overall net worth, and these are the boxes that make up that. And so, do you have the right mix? And so, what we look for is, do you have all your eggs in one basket, right? It's probably not, a good idea to have all your net worth tied up in your business, right? Because if something happens to your business, right, like a pandemic or something like that, the value of your business can go down or go to zero. Now you have no net worth, right? No one's going to buy it, right? Maybe you have too much real estate, right? And I love real estate. You should definitely have it. And some of you, if that's something that's going to support your goals, but if your total net worth is tied up in a asset like real estate, that can tend to be not as liquid as the other assets, right? Maybe you need some liquidity in your life, right? You want to be able to have a chunk of money really quickly. If all your stuff is tied up in real estate, right, it takes a while to sell those properties, right? If that's what you need to do. So not having all your, and just like in retirement accounts, you don't want to have all your eggs into one basket there. Also, there's liquid term. That's another measure that I forgot to talk about. That's a measure of all your cash, right? So that is an asset. Cash is an asset. So you don't want to be all in cash, right? You don't want to have all your money sitting on the sidelines and earning, what it does at the bank, right? So you want to make sure that your risk, having multiple assets is able to spread out your risk as well. So we take a look at all those different things to say, are you taking on the right amount of risk? Because that leads into the next question. Are you building enough wealth to make work optional, right? Retirement, work optional, whatever you want to say, right? If you don't want to retire right now, I get it. But in 30 years from now, you will probably think about it, right? Hey, maybe I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So are you building enough wealth to make work optional? And that's a vital sign that we look at, which is called total return. It's your net worth. So we look at, based on your current spending, based on your net worth, how long can you live off your net worth? And so if that number is too low, we need to address that. That number is, is it growing? Is it growing at a good pace? Right. But also looking at that total term score, we can assess, we can assess whether or not you're at some point going to be able to retire, right? It's a good kind of measure to say, hey, based on what I see, based on the assets you have really quickly, you're going to be fine, right? You're growing your net worth at a pace that is a good pace. Or, hey, we need to address some issues here, right? So, but those are the 4 questions, right? And through our financial health assessment, we're able to gather data, answer those questions for people, and answer their tough financial question, right? Maybe it might be like, hey, should I buy or lease a car? Well, let's look at your cash, right? Do you have enough cash set aside for that, right? Or how is that going to impact your debt, right? How is that going to impact your spending? How is that going to impact how wisely am I using my income, right? So each one of these questions helps us answer in turn a question that is something that's important to you. It's a financial question that's really important to you and that you need the answer to. Like I said, we do offer a free health assessment. If that's something that you'd be interested in, all you need to do is click the link in the caption, and that will send you an invite to do a free financial health assessment where you'll enter in some of your information. You'll get a video from me breaking down your situation, answering these 4 questions for you, and then ultimately you have the opportunity to have a more in-depth review of your finances to make sure that you're on track, right? That you're going to be able to answer all these questions. Like I said, we do have a 4-part series that goes in more in depth. Every week we go over a specific question to help you answer, to learn more about that specific question and the elements that go along with that. And we actually review a client example so that you can see what that looks like, to how we actually help clients answer that tough financial question. So anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today. If you did, make sure you comment below. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this, but also let me know If you know somebody that's like, hey, I got some financial questions I just need answers to. I don't need a whole 60-page financial plan. I just want the answer to my question. Direct them to this video, tag them in this video, let them know that they can get the answer to their question pretty quickly. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's show. If you did, like I said, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear that from you guys. But also make sure you check us out. Another episode of Millennial is coming to you on Friday at 2:00. So make sure that you're on, you set your notifications for that. And we'll be getting to a more regularly live version of this show. But like I said, hopefully this information was valuable to you today. If it was, like I said, just like it, share it with somebody that might need it. So anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We will talk soon, and I'll see you Friday. Have a good one.